stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning. Happy Friday. I hope you're having a good day. Don't mess with that. Yeah. Hope you're having a good day. Start to another weekend. Key is don't drink. That's the key. Dawson, that's key. Yes, dude, I get it. You love me. Stop making my pants all staticky. That's enough. All right, come here. Come here. It's all just going to end up in biting anyway. Come here. Let's get it over with because you're not going to stop. I already know you. And then here comes the jealous one. So, good morning, Michelle. Good to see you. Happy Friday. Yes, I am feeling better. Thank you. It was just the med. I started yesterday. What is it called? It's called Strattera. Automoxetine. So I was trying it for my ADHD. It takes a couple weeks for it to kick in. People are like, you gotta get used to it. Nah, I'm not even bothered trying to get used to that. I got real dizzy. I got real dizzy. And then my stomach started hurting real bad. And then the sweats came. Might as well have been detoxing from alcohol. Fuck that. See? This is why I'm not big. And now look at all this shit going to waste. 90 days worth of fucking pills that go to waste. And I don't like waste, man. So, nope. I'm not even bother trying any other meds. There's like 2 other options, but nope. I ain't even bother trying. Morning, Leisure. Morning, sweetie. Good to see you. You were just actually on my mind. You're on my mind a lot, so not like that's a coincidence. I don't know if you met Leisure or not. Leisure, Kira Leisure. Kira's my daughter. I'm very proud of all my kids right now. Oldest just bought a house or a townhome. The 2 living upstairs are getting shit done. Kira's getting shit done. Moving forward in life. I want my kids to surpass me. Now, I haven't made the bar very high till the last 9 years, so I'll raise the bar more. They will supersede me. They all have it in them. Okay, dude, go find something to do. Jesus. God. All right. I know I'm a cat person, but that doesn't mean I want a cat rubbing my legs 24/7. Now he's in there destroying my couch. Fine, fuck you, Dad. Now, I just love people like, yeah, animals are like children. Yeah, no, they're not. Kara says I'm 8 years and 10 months behind. Yeah, that's not long. Good morning, Amber. Happy launch live. This is the launch live. All right. Today's reading is out of Courage to Change. This is Al-Anon. This is Al-Anon's daily reflection. The other 2 are just repeats. And you've probably been going to enough meetings about step 7. It's just, all it is just saying, that when we understand that character building and humility are the way to go. I like my hair. You might be, Kira. You might be a millionaire by then. I hope so, because somebody's going to need to take care of me. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. Why do you think I'm being so nice to my children? They're going to have to take care of me at some point. All right. If you're here, please say it's totally a joke. All right. If you're here, please say hello. I do know I will not go into an assisted living. I'll slit my throat before that happens. All right. I won't go into assisted living. I refuse. Of course, there might not be a choice, but we're not even there yet. Yay, I know, 2 months. Does it make your heart happy? But when my hair is this level, it makes it look like I'm going bald, and I am not. So I'm going to shave it again today. Let's get back to the mean look. Okay, today, awareness, acceptance, action. These are the steps that we're going to take for almost everything that goes on in our life. Good, bad, or indifferent. It does not matter. That is the process. First, you need to be aware of the problem. Then you need to accept the problem. And then you need to take action on it. Okay? I would call these the 3 A's of recovery, but then somebody will take it and turn it into something that it's not supposed to. I'm not giving anybody any more ammo to screw it up. But it is the 3 A's of recovery. All right. Not the battery. Battery. Metallica. Right. We're not talking about the towing company. Okay. All right. You ever see that joke where this drunk guy calls AAA? Said, and he said, "Yeah, I'm drunk, sir. This is AAA, not AA." Oh no, I drove my car into a ditch. So I screwed that one up bad. I wouldn't even bother laughing at it. I'm not. All right. July 11th. It seems to me that many of us deal with our anger in inappropriate ways. Denying it, we stuff it, or we go off in a fury directing the feelings outward. I, for one, opt for avoidance of any conflict, and then I run and then turn, and then I turn into a doormat. All right. So this is the process of people pleasing. Right. Remember, they're talking about people in Al-Anon in this, people, our loved ones. Oftentimes we alcoholics are arguing about something so inane that there's no point in you fucking arguing with us. It gets to that point. Well, what we're talking about just makes no sense. We're just, alcoholics start fights. We do, especially with our loved ones. It's about abandonment. Almost every alcoholic has a fear of abandonment. And rightfully so. Hey, Julia, it's good to see you. Good to see you. So what we do, and this is human behavior, not alcoholic behavior, but alcoholics have a fear of abandonment. So when we are angry, when we are upset, you know what we do? We take it out on those that we love the most. Especially those ones that are tied to us by family or a marriage certificate. Because we know that they're not leaving. And that's not necessarily true. Right? At the same time, these people, like if it wasn't for Shannon, my wife, if it wasn't for my kids, if it wasn't for my mom, I would not fucking be here. If they would not have begged and fucking left my life and done all this shit, I don't know that I would be here. So, we get into the program sometimes and then we think that our significant other needs to follow the path that we're following and we start to jump down their throat again. Don't make that mistake either. No, If they want to live upon a spiritual life, that is their business. You know whose business it isn't? Mine. Just like your relationship with your higher power is also none of my business. If they want to share that with me, if they want to be a part of it with me, then they will. I can tell you now, because I've seen it, AA and Al-Anon restore marriages a lot of times. Not always, but a lot of times the marriage is restored. Yeah. Sometimes the alcoholic gets better, but the other person doesn't want to get better because this is a family spiritual disease. But if they don't both grow, they ain't going to stick together because they will not be the same people. Sometimes the Al-Anon finds Al-Anon and tries with the alcoholic, but can't take anymore, and they leave. Sometimes that happens. These are the different things that happen. But when both work the program, even if these two people decide that they're not going to stay together, they usually have a pretty good relationship, especially if children are involved. I have no idea how I got that far off topic, but I did. That's because without Al-Anon, we wouldn't make it, man. They do more for us than we know. Remember that they are also the ones that run Alateen. You know, that program that saves our children, right? We gotta have respect. Are there Al-Anon jokes? Sure there are. Do we give each other a hard time? Yes, we do. Right? Okay. The Al-Anon program encourages me to acknowledge my feelings and to be responsible for how I express them. The problem is not that I get angry, but that I do not know how to direct my anger appropriately. God, straight to the point. Love it. Love it. I love it when things get straight to the point. And the Al-Anon book always does. The AA Daily Reflection, they tend to circle the, they tend to beat around the bush. All right. But Al-Anon, man, straightforward. Bam. All right. They have very strong boundaries. Right. It isn't that I don't get angry. I get angry. It's what I do with it that matters. And you've probably been hearing that all your life. But until you were aware of the fact that you were angry and accepted that you were angry and why you were angry, now you can actually do something with it. See, when I used to get angry, I'd be destructive. Now I do everything that I can to be constructive. Right? Now when I get angry, I don't go to my wife. I used to go to my wife and she let me, she's like, you can, talk about, and relieve yourself. And I don't do that as much. Every now and again, I need her. I go to God and I will yell at God. That's who I yell at. Sometimes I just need to yell at something. He's okay with it. He not once has it come back to me. No, I think he would rather I went to him than having to go to one of his children and having them listen to how bad Dion is feeling at the moment and bringing them down with him. I think he'd much rather have that. So I take my anger to God when I'm that angry. And it comes out, F you, God. What the fuck is going on here? What, and I know he's just up there going, yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Don't worry, my son, this too shall pass. It will. All right. Not always. But that awareness and that acceptance will set you fucking free from the bullshit that comes with the emotion. This includes excitement. I've seen more alcoholics go out and drink because it was Friday, 90 degrees, payday, like today, Today's what I would call a trifecta. Actually, if it was a holiday, like last Friday, did you notice that about a quarter of our people disappeared? Last weekend was one of the harder weekends. 4th of July, payday, sunny, enjoying life. Oh, life is great. I feel really good. Oh, I love this song. Oh, man, I love this song. Where's the beer? That's it. That's all it takes. But when it comes to the harder stuff, man, we buckle down. Somebody dies. Oh, I'm going to stay sober. This person has cancer. I have cancer. Something's going on. And they buckle down. But when it comes to the good things, we cannot fucking handle them. Damn it, Katie. That's not chicken pie. Julia says, I can hang on to a feeling of a situation other person moves on, but they do tend to acknowledge their part and then encourages me. Yeah, if you're working with somebody who's emotionally healthy themselves, they're probably going to come back and say something to you too. Maybe something had happened and they set you off. Okay, that's what I would call justice. Because that person came and said, hey, I saw and they acknowledge what they did wrong. They don't even have to say sorry. It's happened to me, Dion, especially when it is something that I didn't even know about. Hey, Dion, this happened and it affected you. Oh, that was you? Oh, well, shit. I didn't know that. It's justice. See, the 9th step's about justice. Justice. Right? What are we bringing to justice? Our problems. It's a process of facing your snakes. Almost the whole program is about facing your snakes. Right? I'll get to that next one, Julia. Lately, when I feel like hitting somebody, see, listen to this. This is so. Does the AA one? Does it ever say? Does the daily reflection for AA? Does it ever go? When I feel like hitting someone, no. Fucking Eleanor, so great. All right. Lately, when I feel like hitting someone, I take my pillow and beat the daylights out of my bed. That's where I started. That is where I started. If you're going to destroy shit, destroy your own shit. But choose something soft. Beat the shit out of your pillow. If you need to get that anger out, probably best, if it's, nobody else is around. Probably a good choice. All right. I understand this. When I want to wipe someone out, I attack my dirty oven. I try to release my anger as soon as I can so I won't build resentments that will be harder to get rid of later. Get into action. That's what they're talking about there, is the action portion. Go clean your yard. Go do something constructive where at least you can look at it and be like, oh, that's nice and clean. That makes me feel a little bit better. What it does is it changes your attitude about the situation. Then your mind will be more like, maybe they did this because of this. Maybe it happened this way because of this. Did I have a part in it? See, it starts to alleviate your mind when you go busy up your hands. That's the key, is you got to busy these things up, right? Because then your mind starts thinking about what you're doing instead of focusing on the problem. The more I focus on the problem itself, the more it's going to become a problem. I've got to switch to the solution. Well, in order to do that, I've got to be aware of it. I've got to accept it. And then I've got to put some action into it. And that's what will happen. Right? Julia says, if was a family member, they recognize, I'm going to say if is it. It was a family member. They recognize what triggered me, and it is because I acknowledged I was angry. Sometimes you'll get angry in the moment. I remember, speaking of Al-Anon, this is a great story. When I was putting the meeting together at Henderson Community Church, I asked Al-Anon to join us. Now, AA isn't over there anymore. The point was to have Al-Anon and Alateen going on downstairs. And Thursdays were going to be family day. AA fell flat on his face. I tried for 9 months. I tried so hard. Okay. And it was very discouraging. But there were good things that came out of it. Right. I talked to my sister about this on Mother's Day. And because she's the one that helped. She helped start it with a few other Al-Anons. Right. I was going to say we, but I didn't start shit. I started the AA, got the place, and now they're there, right? She's like, we got big enough, we had to move upstairs. I'm like, yeah. And she said, now downstairs is Alateen. So I still got what I wanted. I still got what I wanted. Was I angry? Was I upset that I couldn't get the meeting going? Did I get all of what I wanted? No, I did not. Thursdays isn't family night. There's no AA going on there. Now it might be a good time to go start AA there. I don't know. I don't think anybody's going to show up, though. Right. But, I was talking about, so when Al-Anon was first looking at the space, it was another lady, I forget her name. Not that it matters because I shouldn't say it here anyway. Anonymity, right? They were talking about money. Well, I had started a club. And in my mind, okay, it was the Club Trudge. That's our sign right there. Okay, was our sign. Never went anywhere. In my mind, I'm like, well, no, they should be paying the club. And then the club pays. And they were talking about paying directly to the church. But the church didn't really want our money. But I started to get angry because it wasn't going the way that I wanted it to. Okay. But in my mind, I'm like, well, it just makes more sense. It goes directly to the church. Why should it go through another set of hands? Because the amount of money wasn't going to change. So what was it? Well, Dion wanted to be the big wig. That's what it fucking was. And I caught myself and I got angry in front of her. And if you know me well enough, if I'm angry, everybody in the fucking room knows it. I don't have to say anything. And I turned around and I walked away about 10 feet. I was taking some breaths and they were like, Dion, are you okay? And I said, no, Dion is mad because he thinks he's not getting what he wants, but I will get over it. That was it. And they were like, okay, all right, that makes sense. It wasn't anything we did, was it? I'm like, nope, there wasn't anything you guys did. I had an expectation. It wasn't correct. And I got angry about it, but I will be okay. And 2 minutes later, I was fine. Sit. All right. Because I was able to be honest with myself because I had done it enough. And I knew they were correct. But God, that defiance in us that wants to fight everything won out for about 30 seconds. Okay. So it's going to happen. But you were also allowed, was it a little embarrassing? Yeah, it was. But guess what? Guess where that embarrassment was coming from? Was it coming from them? It was coming from me. We found that we placed ourselves in a position to be hurt. There we go. And it didn't have to do with money. It had to do with prestige. Dion wanted the prestige. And when Dion doesn't get what he wants, he gets angry. And yes, I'm talking about myself in first person or third person on purpose with that. Because that's the Mr. Hyde part of me and not something that I like to relinquish or to let out. Relinquish is a much different word to let out, is what I meant. I like this. When I want to wipe someone out. All right. I'm learning to communicate my anger too. I may not do it gracefully. Now I feel better about what I just talked about because they're like, I may not do it gracefully because I did that as gracefully as possible. Not necessarily gracefully, right? It means facing the awful discomfort called conflict, but I can't run away anymore. Yeah, can't run away. Maybe we need some time. Maybe you're so angry and you're talking to the person that you're quote unquote angry with. Hey, and there's got to be qualifications, especially if you are married. Okay. You can't just walk out the door without telling anybody. No. Okay. And that's actually how I started on my anger. So before the anger came up, I spoke with my wife and I said, hey, if I get angry, what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to walk away for a minute, but I am coming back. I'm just walking around the block and coming back. I'm not leaving. Nothing else is going on. So I qualified it. Okay. And that's how I start out. I don't have to do that anymore because I don't get that angry anymore. Okay. When my son moved in and he had the same anger problem as me, he got that anger from me. I can tell you that. Yes, hello, other kitty who needs lots of attention, who's going to jump in my lap without permission. All right, come on. Yeah. I think he understands English. Do you understand English? Right. Well, and him and his wife were going through a lot of stuff. They were. And what do we do when we're angry? We take things out on the people we love the most, right? And we talked about that earlier. Everybody's susceptible to that. So I gave him what I did. He said, you remember Dad used to have a lot of anger and stuff, right? And he started utilizing it. That was 2 years ago. I hardly ever hear him yelling anymore. And what is he using? Awareness, acceptance. It's because, and what is that? Okay, I'm aware that I'm mad. I accept that I'm mad. I'm going to take a little walk to cool down. The action is that little walk. And it's okay. You can even say, I am too angry to talk about this right now. Do you mind if I take 10 minutes and go for a walk and just fucking cool off? Do you mind? Okay, I got to go. And don't slam the door. No, you don't get to slam the door. And don't kick the trash cans on the way out. These are all things Dion did. So I'm telling you not to do them. Giving you a little key to what not to do. Isn't that great, though, that we get to utilize our past to tell people what not to do, even though we were in the wrong? All the bullshit that I did wrong, I now get to use to help other people. That's so cool. I love it. You get to too. Isn't that a cool life? All right. The only people that really apply stigma to me is my family. Other than that, nobody does it. I remember when I first met Pastor Marcia. I noticed this yesterday. I was talking to Michael. He works at Community Resource Center, and he's a great guy. I love him. I was so comfortable with him, I didn't even think to stop and try my swearing. And I swore a lot. He didn't swear at all, right? Because but I don't work for anybody, so I can talk how I want. But just a cool dude, man. But when I first met Pastor Marcia, she was talking to the board about me, and this is how she described me. She's like, Dion's a great guy. He's a bit salty. And I'm like, that is the best description for me. Kira says, I love rage rooms for this reason. That's another great idea. 10 minutes for like $25. Yeah, and you get to just destroy a room, right? Now, your anger does not make you a bad person. It does not. Trust me, people have been talking to me about my anger my whole life. This is the number one thing that I've heard. Dion, it's not what you said, it's how you said it. So I even had to change the tone of my voice, like permanently. The tone of my voice that now is not the tone of my voice. This is my regular voice. Right here. This is where my voice is most comfortable. But what I do is I bring it up a little bit. And I can do that because growing up in the 70s and you have to sing along to things like the Bee Gees and Yes and, you know, all these high-pitched dudes, you learn how to do it. That's why I can talk like this. All right. Let's do today's reminder and then we'll wrap it up. I don't want to though, because this one's pretty fun, but I don't have much more on this one. So today's reminder, feeling our feelings is one important part of the recovery process. Learning how to balance feelings with appropriate action is another. Okay. There is nothing wrong with your feelings. I'm so tired of people walking around. Okay. Now, feelings are not facts. That I fucking hate it. It's bullshit. It's true. I hate it though. I want my feelings to be facts because then I'm justified. That's why. And that's not going to do me any good either, is it? There's nothing wrong with your emotions. So feelings are not facts, but feelings are valid. They absolutely are valid. And anybody that wants to take it a different way, I'm not even bothered being around it. There's a reason for that emotion. Let's discover what it is because it might be a good thing. When I take my anger and I go through this process and I take the right action, do you know what that is? Progress. That's fucking, so your anger became progress. See, everything's progress, 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 progress. Because what was the progress? You did something different. When somebody has a slip, maybe they drank for the weekend, maybe they drank for 4th of July weekend, right? A lot of people with 8 days right now, 5 days. Okay. So, what is that when they come back? It is fucking progress. But the rest of the world does not see it that way. The alcoholic going through it will not see it that way. I never saw it that way and I knew better. But it's hard to be that way when you got the fucking booze in your body. So even a slip and they come back, that's fucking progress, man. Because before you would have just stayed out there. You would have fucking given up on yourself. Okay? So what happened? They became aware that they slipped and that they truly are an alcoholic. They can now truly accept that they are an alcoholic and the action is coming back to them. You do it all the time. You may not even notice it. Okay? This is what I would call muscle memory. And the more you do it, the easier it will become. Will it become easy? I don't know. That's between you and that person. But confrontation isn't necessarily easy. But we alcoholics tend to make things harder than they need to be. So at least don't do that. At least don't make it harder. Okay? Now, my anger, I've worked on. My self-pity, my depression, that motherfucker kicks my ass. Right? And it's the next thing I'm working on. I decided like 3 weeks ago, fuck my social anxiety. I'm going to do what I want. If I want to go out and do something, I'm going to go out and do it. Okay? I don't know that I really do have social anxiety. I don't know. I don't know. Did I say I don't know? Why is it good that I don't know? Because it's probably best that I don't know. I don't need to know everything, right? Julia says, I'm here. I've here if you love them, they can drive you crazy because they know they can. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, the people closest to us also know our buttons. Right? When it comes to your buttons, just don't react. Don't react. And if you know they're trying to push their button, you can say things like, I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Because once that happens, the power is gone. They already did it. Now the power is gone. If you want, act stupid. Can you explain that to me, please? I don't quite understand. I know you're laughing at stuff, but I don't understand. Can you explain it to me? Oh, well, you're doing it. See, no. Or just don't react. Oh, yeah. I'm going to go take a shit now. All right. I'll be back. And they'll leave you alone after a while. And because I have a part of my family that I get along just fine with, but there's another part, right? And what they did is I started not reacting. And you know what? You know what they did? They just stopped inviting me. They stopped inviting me. Now, here's the thing. Everybody lost in that situation. And that's a bummer. Everybody lost in that situation, including me. You know, it's three of my brothers, the man that raised me. I never got close to his current wife. She doesn't like me at all. It's one of the reasons that they don't have me around. And she doesn't like me because I found out that her daughter was a stripper. And I'm going to tell you something. I didn't care then, and I don't care now. My thought was, and I was, 30 at the time. Turned out my roommate had dated her in high school, and that's how he knew. And she must have been embarrassed or something by it. I don't know. But he's like, yeah, she used to be a dancer. I'm like, that's cool. Good for her, man. And it was like, yeah, that was it. It wasn't like slut talk or putting her down or anything. And my roommate was being cool because that was my sister, my stepsister. Yeah, like legitimate stepsister. No, I didn't grow up with them. Unfortunately, she passed from cancer about 2 years ago. So God bless her soul. God bless her soul. I didn't know her very well, but from the interactions I had with her, she was pretty nice to me. She was pretty nice to me. Julia says, I have a friend who put herself through college doing that. Yeah. Who am I to judge? I don't have the body for it, but I might have done it too. You think I haven't stripped for money before? I haven't. I've been asked, but they weren't female. All right. There's a quote, and then we can get out of here. All right. When angry, count 10 before you speak. If you're very angry, 100. Thomas Jefferson. Yeah. Okay. Because I'm a reactive person, I take I try and take about 4 seconds. Because they say take 2 seconds to think about it. Your brain works pretty quick. I'm an alcoholic, so I take about 4 seconds. Nobody really notices. But when I'm angry, yeah, I need the 100. A 10 ain't enough. And that's where that walk comes. That's where being, taking myself and removing myself from the situation for a minute. Because what's going on is when I'm angry and I see that person and they're the one that made me angry, that's my focus. But if they are not in my purview and I go somewhere else and I see the squirrels running around and the rabbits and this going on, now that's no longer in my purview and my brain starts to do something a little different. It'll start because it's not in my face. Oh, the AC summer celebration. I don't think I'm going to go. All right. Leisure says addiction will have you chasing a drug that no longer feels good just to avoid the pain of quitting. I would agree. Michelle says, yo, don't have social anxiety, but I think she meant you. I don't really know. I did, but I don't really think I have it like I used to. I think that people are just assholes. I'm kidding. All right. A lot of fun in that last part. All right. Thanks everybody for being here. You can't put LOL and laughing stuff in there, so I don't think I'm the only one that thinks I'm hilarious. You can do that. Too bad we don't have like just a reactions button to where it'll like pop up on the screen and do laughing and stuff. That would work best. Maybe I could write Restream and say, hey, could you add this? That'd be kind of cool, where my watchers could put like, love, and it'll pop up on the screen. It's a good idea. Yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I hope you have a great. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I hope you have a great Friday. I'll see some of you at 3. I'll see some of you at 5. And some of you I'll see tomorrow. But either way, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out and have a day.